knocking at my door. But he don't know I keep my house clean and thoroughly furnished. With good works in Christ's home, so I ain't swept and garnished. I've been admonished to be honest with my inner demons. To let them know to let me go so I can reach the kingdom. I set my house in order with brick and mortar to get a name better than sons and daughters. Lord, I come to you with a contrite heart. See many fall, Lord, I'm begging, never take my spark. And set apart my transgressions through these life lessons. It must be nice to get the kingdom, feel like life Jennings. And where my sins will never be spoken of or mentioned. And chariots fly to different galaxies and dimensions. Repent my people, can't you see I'm really pleading with you? And on the other side, I pray that I see you, cause it's time. This time, this time, this time, this time. I said all the time, I won't do it no more. But this time, this time, this time, it's gotta be my last time. This time, won't fall back into sin.
To my faithful and beloved son, Timothy, for of this sort are they which creep into houses, and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts.
Yeah. I done did some things I know some folks still hate me for. I seen some wild shit in my life, man, I can't make this up. Man, I seen Bree up in that casket, she ain't waking up. So just do me this one favor, and please don't mistake my passion for aggression. Father, forgive me for my sins, I confess it. Ay, protect me from my friends, protect me from my foes, cause you never really know. It's been a long road, watching for each other's souls. Father, forgive me for my sins, I confess it. I'm standing 10 toes through my highs and my lows. Pray my eyes never close. Thank God I was chosen. When Lil Cuzzo hit that pen, it brought my auntie pain. From hitting licks to selling dope, feel like I'm part to blame. Something got a hold of me, Etta James. Nights like this, I had that Eddie Kane. Up all night catching drains, just trying to numb the pain. Plus when you beefing, ain't no sleeping, it's a dirty game. Putting that cancer in my system, staring at my pistol. Remember hearing them bullets whistling, man, they barely missed me. Yeah, the devil tried to get me, but I made it out. You hear that passion in my teaching when I bring it out. And all the folks that I didn't hurt, I finally see it now. Man, I was locked up with my pops, that's something to think about it. I done did some things I know some folks still hate me for. I seen some wild shit in my life, man, I can't make this up. Man, I seen Bree up in that casket, she ain't waking up. So just do me this one favor, and please don't mistake my passion for aggression. Father, forgive me for my sins, I confess it. Ay, protect me from my friends, protect me from my foes, cause you never really know. It's been a long road, watching for each other's souls. Father, forgive me for my sins, I confess it. I'm standing 10 toes through my highs and my lows. Pray my eyes never close. I thank God. Lord, I just pray y'all overcome my sins. The devil knocking, I can't let him in. To adversity, you don't know your friends. I'm far from perfect, but Lord knows I'm working. Watch these devils, they be lurking. Yeah, I know they wanna murk me. Came from a long way, yeah, I was going the wrong way. Can't do this shit my own way, I gotta do it God way. Hey, life a trip, yeah, I know that's what they all say. Young rebel, yeah, I had to learn the hard way. From sleeping in them hallways to serving in them hallways. Lil' Tay was in the wrong place, and Doc got smoked in broad day. And they got God doing it ill, he ain't get caught with nothing. Man, all them chances we was taking, it was all for nothing. I done did some things I know some folks still hate me for. I seen some wild shit in my life, man, I can't make this up. Man, I seen Bree up in that casket, she ain't waking up. So just do me this one favor, and please don't mistake my passion for aggression. Father, forgive me for my sins, I confess it. Ay, protect me from my friends, protect me from my foes, cause you never really know. It's been a long road, watching for each other's souls. Father, forgive me for my sins, I confess it. I'm standing 10 toes through my highs and my lows. Pray my eyes never close. I thank God I was chosen. I thank God I was chosen.
people fight day to day. We just trying to survive it. I bet you see all the pain when you look in our eyelids. The thoughts they devising for the children of Zion. It really hurt my spirit, got me sighing. I know, yeah, I know that this can't last for long. I know, yeah, I know that we gon' have it all. So I worry about fancy cars or random bras that dancing balls like Zanzibar. Whole time you had the law. Don't forget you gotta answer God, and I do too more than a handful of flaws. Mercy, forgiveness, I ask for it all. Praying that He answer the call. Don't leave me alone, no, don't leave me alone. Like damn, my people down still, and heavy is the head that wears the crown for real.
I've been around, everywhere I go, my people down. Ay, don't need to frown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Ay, down bad, no love. Down bad, we knew what He was. We been down bad, no love. Down bad, we knew what He was.
We been on the bottom for a while. Man, they got us tripping, looking out. Comprise, realize it's time to find a way. Realize the prize is right around the way. But here's the difference, you better be one applying. With tunnel vision, your mental is fortifying. It's fortifying you from doing dirt down on the low. While we on the bottom, you should learn and look at that memo. I wanna know.
Check, mic check. Shalom, shalom, Most High in Christ bless, Most High in Christ bless. All praises to the Most High God. Happy Feast of Purim, Israel. All praises to the Lord. Back with another class. I'm Officer Zariah, IUIC Jackson, Mississippi, with another edition of Daily Bread. Want to first give a shout out to the leaders, the bishops, the deacons, the captains. Give a shout out to you officers, the soldiers, the men, women, and children putting in the work, keeping God's feast days. All praises to the Most High God. We in the midst of the feast, and that's the reason for today's topic. Because while we enjoying ourselves, especially last night was off the chain. Wherever you were, whether you was at your school or you was at the listening party for Bishop Kanai's album, songs Fire, wherever you were at, somebody else, while you was doing that, was celebrating Valentine's Day. Out in the midst of wickedness. And for that reason, the title of today's Daily Bread is Aftermath. Idolatry is a deep ditch. That's what we're going to talk about, the deep ditch of idolatry, the pitfalls of worshiping other gods. Specifically, Valentine's Day, but it extends far beyond just Valentine's Day, because people commit whoredom, adultery, fornication every day of the week. And what we're going to look at is the aftermath of a lot of those things and how we can come out of that. If we were of course, we were once involved in that. And some, may still be involved in that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's get Hosea chapter 4, verse 11. That's going to be the first scripture. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 11. Let me get that.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart.
So it said whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. Give me that, Mark 7:21. So we know what the heart is, because it said whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. We ain't talking about the heart in your chest. We ain't talking about the little symbol they show you on Valentine's Day. They call that a heart. And we know what that symbolizes. We ain't talking about that. Read that, Mark 7:21. What the scripture talking about when it said whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. What's the heart?
Mark chapter 7 and verse 21.
Uh-huh.
For from within, out of the heart of men,
But from within, out of the heart of men,
proceed evil thoughts.
what proceeds out of the heart of men?
Proceeds evil thoughts.
So out of your heart comes thoughts. So what did that show you your heart is? That's your mind. That's your brain. That's what you think with. That's where your thoughts come from. What come out? What are those? What are some of those evil thoughts?
Adultery.
Adultery. All right, just like we're gonna be talking about today. Read.
Fornication.
Fornication. Just like we're gonna be talking about today. It's amazing how those the top two thoughts that come out of our wicked mind. Of all of the things that we do, of all of the sins that we commit, the ones that are most prevalent seems like is adultery and fornication, and just the lust that we wrapped up in, the sexual sin, the sexual deviancy that we want to run around and commit. And a lot of times it's because we have idols in our heart. We're going to find out. Go back. Read that again. It's Hosea 4 and 11.
Yes, sir.
So now we know what the heart is.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart.
Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart, meaning the mind. So we know a little bit about what whoredom is, right? Whoremongering, adultery, we know what that is. But what about the wine part? Let's get into that just for a second. Go to Sirach chapter 19 and verse 1. A couple of scriptures about wine.
The book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 1.
Come on.
A laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich.
So it says a laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich. Meaning what? If you work, you got a job. This is the man that actually, he ain't standing in front of the corner store with a 40 ounce in the brown paper bag. This is a laboring man. Somebody that go to work, got a job, but he's given to drunkenness or wine. What did it say about him?
A laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich.
So the laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich. Why he ain't gonna be rich? Because he always spending his money on what? On the drink. This brother ain't never got no money. Always got something to drink though. Always drunken, right? And this is talking about physical wine. But now, keep on reading.
And he that contemneth small things shall fall by little and little.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
Wine and women.
What did it say?
Wine and women.
So just like the first scripture we read, wine and women or whoredom, read,
will make men of understanding to fall away.
Will take away the heart. That means what? Wine and women will cause a man to fall. What type of man? And not just any type of man. Read it again, verse 2.
Wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away.
It say wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away. So not only are those that are without understanding subject to this, those of us that have some level of understanding are also subject to the downfalls and pitfalls of wine and women. Brothers, we see it all the time. Brothers fall every day. They die every day, B, to women and wine. Keep on reading.
And he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent.
And he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent. Meaning what? That understanding that you once had, you will lose. You will lack understanding. There's another scripture that say that. We'll probably going to read it a little bit later on. Go to now Proverbs 31. We're talking about wine and women, whoredom, wine, new wine, how that takes away the heart, how that destroys a man. Proverbs 31:3.
Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 3.
Come on.
Give not thy strength unto women.
Give not thy strength unto women, unto whoredom. Don't be caught up in the midst of that. Adultery, fornication. Read on.
Nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings.
Nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. We're going to look at one of those things that destroys kings. Keep reading.
It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine.
It is not for kings to drink wine. Come on.
Nor for princes to strong drink.
Nor for princes strong drink. Why?
Lest they drink.
Lest they what?
Lest they drink.
And what happens?
And forget the law.
And forget the law. So a man in a position of honor, a man in a position of judgment that can make decisions on people's lives, kings, princes, so on and so forth, right? It says, lest they drink and forget the law and do what?
And pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted.
And pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. So what does wine do? Wine impairs your judgment. That's what we want to get out of that scripture. Wine impairs your judgment. It affects your ability to think straight. You start doing stuff that's out of order. Stuff you can't even explain. Sometimes you just not you when you own the wine, right? And once again, this just physical wine. But remember, Hosea 4:11 said that whoredom, wine, and new wine take away the heart. That's physical wine in one aspect, but it also goes into spiritual wine as well. Go to Isaiah chapter 28, verse 7. So I wanted to get both of those, to show the physical, and then we're going to get into the spiritual. Because a lot of times, especially with these idolatrous customs, where whoredom is, guess what, is also there. Drunkenness is there. You're not sober. That's why you laying with somebody you just met a week ago and waking up with STDs, with a potential baby on the way, all type of stuff behind some type of idolatrous custom because a woman and some drink was involved or some weed, whatever, right? But now let's get into the spiritual aspect of wine. Isaiah 28, verse 7.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 7.
Uh-huh.
But they also have erred through wine.
They also have erred through wine. Remember, wine taketh away the heart. It makes one become impudent. You error. You go off, right? Read on.
And through strong drink are out of the way.
Uh-huh.
The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink.
The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. Read.
They are swallowed up of wine.
Uh-huh.
They are out of the way through strong drink.
Uh-huh.
They err in vision.
They err in vision. Read.
They stumble in judgment.
And they stumble in judgment. So is it just because they just staggering all over the place, drunk off of actual wine? Nah. What's the wine that's being referred to right here? Go to Micah chapter 2 and verse 11. Micah 2 and 11. What is the wine that's being referred to here?
Micah chapter 2 and verse 11.
Come on.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
I will prophesy unto thee of wine and strong drink. Read.
He shall even be the prophet of this people.
So read it again. So we know what the wine and strong drink is now. That causes men to err. That causes men to stumble. On one aspect, yes, it is actual physical wine because you drunk too much, right? You had too much of the Kool-Aid. But what is it here? Read it again. Spiritually.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie.
Falsehood, spirit, and falsehood do lie. Read.
Saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
So the wine that causes men to err or stumble, lack, and lose judgment is the spiritual wine of lies and falsehood, different doctrines, different ideologies. And in this case, we're going to talk about idolatry, lies and falsehood, right? Things that are not of the Lord. That's what the wine is. That's what all of our people are drunk off of. It's folks celebrating Valentine's Day that ain't never had liquor in their life. Get what they was, drunk off the wine of what? The falsehood and lies of Valentine's Day. And every other holiday they celebrate. Christmas, drunk. New Year, drunk. Valentine's, drunk. Easter, drunk. It's a holiday for every month. Drunk. Thanksgiving, drunk. Drunk off the wine of those lies and falsehood, right? So go to 1 Kings chapter 11. 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 3. Now we know what the wine is that causes us to, or takes away the heart. Remember, whoredom, wine, and new wine take away the heart. Now we know what the other wine is. That spiritual wine that causes us to go off and lose understanding or walk out of the way of understanding. Read that. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 3.
The book of 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 3.
An example.
And he had 700 wives.
Talking about King Solomon. Come on.
Princesses and 300 concubines.
So women, a whole gang up. How many? Read again.
And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines.
That's 1,000 women. It ain't that many days in a year. King Solomon had 1,000 women. And what did he do because he had that? Keep on reading.
And his wives turned away his heart.
What they do?
And his wives turned away his heart.
He said, and his wives turned away his heart. Whoredom and wine and new wine will take away the heart. Just like we read in Hosea chapter 4. How his wives turned away his heart, though? How did they cause him to go off? Were they alone in that effort? Or is it something that they brought to him that caused him to go off? Keep reading.
Verse 4. For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
How they turned away his heart?
They turned away his heart after other gods.
They turned away his heart after other gods. You know what those other gods are? That's the lies. That is the wine, the falsehood of the other nations. The other gods that we serve and worship then, and guess what? Now, right here in 2026. We celebrating the Feast of Purim. We celebrating God's high holy days. Your cousin getting knocked up by some Negro celebrating Valentine's Day. That ain't gonna call her no more. She trying to find out where he at right now. Ain't gonna find him. It's over with. But the reason why all of that's going on is because our people have been turned away after other gods, other ideology, idolatry, to make it plain. Finish it.
And his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians.
Stop right there. We're going to come back to this scripture. Go to Isaiah 29 and verse 9. as well. And then give me that that Instagram video, the one I said would be first. I know I posted it like way down in the thing, and I apologize. Forgive me, but that's gonna be the first video. Let me see. Yeah, that's it right there. Isaiah 29:9.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine.
They are drunken, but not with wine. Read.
They stagger, but not with strong
They
drink.
stagger, but not with strong drink. That's how you know. Read Micah 2:11 one more time. Well, y'all drunken, but they ain't drunk with wine. They ain't drunk with strong drink. They ain't got no Parmesan, Taka vodka. They ain't got none of that. What they drunk off of? Read it.
Micah chapter 2 and verse 11.
Come on.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
So that wine and that strong drink that we stumble off of, that our people are currently stumbling off of, is idolatry, lies, and falsehood. Give it to us by the other nations. You understand that? And now we serve these things here. We head first in Valentine's Day. We done lost our mind. I'm talking about big bears and cards and all type of crazy stuff, spending all your money. But I digress, because we've been there. We have really been. I'm going to tell you a story about T-Side. I remember I was in high school. This is some real life whoredom right here. High school age young man, right? And mind you, this is a small place. This is a small city, a small town in Mississippi. And a small school is built in a square. You understand what I'm saying? Why I had the nerve to buy two sisters Valentine's stuff. Because they used to have, you could bring it to the school, and then you could have your stuff dropped off in the classroom with a person at. Why I was so damn crazy to think that I wasn't gonna get caught. That's the being a drunk off the lies and falsehood. Just an example. Show you that we've been there. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why we got to bring these things out, because this is real life. This is what our people going through, and we got now. People are full-aged adults doing the same crazy stuff, all in the mind frame or in worship or in celebration of Valentine's Day. So what is that? Where it come from? Let's get some insight. Yeah, go ahead and put that video up.
Did you know that Valentine's Day has a very dark and mysterious past? It wasn't always about chocolate and roses. Its origins are actually pretty wild. Let me tell you the story. Valentine's Day dates back to ancient Rome, and the most popular legend says it honors Saint Valentine, a priest who secretly performed marriages when Emperor Claudius II banned them. The emperor believed that single men made better soldiers. When Valentine was caught, he was imprisoned and eventually executed on February 14th. Before his death, legend has it that he wrote a note to the jailer's daughter and signed it, "From your Valentine." And that's how one man's sacrifice turned into the love-filled holiday we celebrate today. Crazy, right? So, when you're giving flowers or a card, remember, you're carrying out a tradition that's more than 2,000 years old. What's your favorite Valentine's Day tradition? Let me know in the comments.
Now I want to read Matthew chapter 15, verse 3. So that's what we think this is it's just tradition, right? It's just something that we do now. Which in all actuality is, you don't know what you got going. You don't know what you worshiping. You don't know what you celebrating. But what does God say about these things? Read Matthew chapter 15 and verse 3. The white man says you celebrating a 2,000-year-old tradition. Well, what God say about traditions? Matthew 15:3.
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 3.
Come on.
But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
God says, Christ said, why do you also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? Valentine's Day promotes whoredom. Valentine's Day promotes drunkenness. Valentine's Day promotes idolatry. What Christ say? Read it again.
But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Why do you also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? A lot of people will say, what am I doing wrong? Well, you breaking God's commandments. That's what you're doing wrong. You understand that? We go out and we try to tell our people, look, we shouldn't be doing this. Let's come back. Well, what am I supposed to do? Well, read Leviticus 23. You got something to do every week. It's folks in the truth now, they tired of coming to the Sabbath. I'm talking, yeah. The Sabbath has become mundane to you because you do it every week. Folks outside in the world celebrating Valentine's Day. Anyway, I digress because this ain't even about that. Colossians 2:8. If that is you tired of the Sabbath day, check your spirit. Colossians 2:8. We can no longer walk in a way of transgressing God's commandments just because of a tradition, a worldly tradition, right? The customs of the world. Read that, Colossians 2:8.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy
and what?
And vain deceit.
After
the tradition of men.
After what?
After the tradition of men.
After the tradition of men. Valentine's Day, tradition of men. Christmas, New Year's, your birthday, tradition of men. Read on.
After the rudiments of the world and not after Christ.
These things are not after Christ, brothers and sisters. We cannot go on in these things because they're not after Christ. And if they're not after Christ, then guess what? They're not after God. We're not worshiping God. We're not pleasing God when we go off into these things, right? I want to get another scripture. Go to Hebrews 13:4. Because in the video it says something about marriage. Now, God does honor marriage. But is it Valentine's Day marriage or biblical marriage? Let's find out. Hebrews 13:4.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4.
Come on.
Marriage is honorable in all.
God says marriage is honorable in all. So to court a sister, to prove a sister, brothers, and to prove a brother, sisters, get to know that person. Take your time, learn them, and eventually marry, have children, build a household, build something stable. Build something we ain't never seen before in the black community, especially if you are in a certain age bracket. The younger generation, we don't know what a happy household look like. We ain't never seen a marriage before. That's what God honors when we come back to that. In righteousness, of course. But then what's the rest of it say?
And the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge.
That's Valentine's Day. That second part, but whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. That's why Christ said you transgress the commandment of God by your traditions. And because we transgress, guess what? God judges us. Yes, God does judge us for our sin. God literally put stumbling blocks and things in our path and to get us right. That's what the end of it is. But it's still judgment at the end of the day. Because of the whoredom, the adultery, all these different things that we want to call ourselves doing in the name of these wicked holidays. Pull up that next thing I sent. So the next one we're going to pull up is the first one that's posted. It should say approximately 20,000 to 30,000. So we're going to talk about marriages that occur on Valentine's Day. Because God say marriage is honorable, right? Yeah. That one right there. There you go.
Approximately 20,000 to 30,000 marriages occur annually on Valentine's Day in the United States, making it one of the top 5 most popular wedding dates. This is nearly 4 times the average daily volume of 7,000 to 8,000 weddings, with numbers increasing significantly when February 14th falls on a weekend.
So 20,000 to 30,000 marriages occur, which is 4 times more than the average daily volume of weddings. These happen on Valentine's Day, right? But I want to take a look into why that happened. Why does that number just increase so drastically? Can we read that? Read the one that say top location.
Top location, Las Vegas, Nevada is a
Pull it up, son, so he can see it. See the rest of it. And the significance of the location gonna take us to the next part. We scroll up. Because I'm looking at it. It should be more. That's it? That's all it is right here? It's cut off like that? All right, it's cool. Read it.
Top location. Las Vegas, Nevada is a major hotspot, often hosting over 500 plus weddings on
this day alone is what the rest of it says. So the point is, why is that location specific? You think about Vegas, right? A lot of people do this thing called elope. Let's pull up the definition of elope, please. You can either pull it in that screenshot or just Google it. Yeah.
Elope. Run away secretly in order to get married, especially without parental consent.
So the reason why those marriages increase so drastically on Valentine's Day is because most times what people do is this right here. They elope, which is to run away secretly in order to get married, especially without parental consent. Meaning what? That marriage ain't right. You didn't go through the particular proper channels. You didn't seek no counsel. You didn't prove. You didn't do nothing right. And you decided you was going to go to Vegas with this woman you met at work. And you said, we just going to run off to Vegas and get married. The simple sister then got caught up with some dude that said he wanted to marry her. He ain't know them, but a week and a half, he bought a favorite drink out the vending machine at work, and now they run away to Vegas to get married on Valentine's Day. That's what we're talking about. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. These things cause you to make very rash, irrational decisions, right? Go down now to the next part, the next one. So what about those marriages that happen? Y'all think they last? Y'all think these ungodly marriages last? Let's find out. Put it up.
Marriages on.
Wait till it come on that side. Yes, sir. Zoom it in. We're going to start all the way at the top. Oh, Lord.
Marriages on Valentine's Day have a slightly higher risk of ending in divorce compared to other dates, with studies suggesting that they are 36% to 45% more likely to end. While some data shows about 21% of Valentine marriages end by the 9th anniversary, the longevity of the marriage is determined by factors like compatibility, not the date.
So these marriages usually end. They are 36% to 45% more likely to end. And it's not just because of the date that it happens. It's because it's determined by factors like compatibility, or the lack thereof, rather. Scroll down. It's a part on there I wanted to read. Under the key findings on Valentine's Day marriages, let's see. Let's read. Let's read the gimmicky date theory.
Yes, sir.
And the no inherent curse. We're gonna read them too.
Yes, sir. Gimmicky date theory. The increased divorce rate is often attributed to the gimmicky nature of the date, which may attract couples with less stability or those in a rush.
Which may attract couples with less stability or those in a rush. You're unstable. You don't know what's going on. You just do it because it's all, I don't know, it's covered in love. You go in the store and all you see is heart candy, pink and red bears, Kit Kat turn a different color. It's crazy. You understand that? And people, these things attract people or cause people to go off and make irrational decisions, like get married to somebody they don't know. Read the next part, no inherent curse.
No inherent curse. Research on Valentine's Day marriages indicates that the date itself is not the primary factor. Rather, it is underlying relationship issues that lead to shorter marriages.
It is underlying relationship issues that lead to shorter marriages. That is the problem. The relationship issues that occur because you caught up in your lust. You ain't driven by love to marry that sister, to marry that brother. You horny. That's what it is. And now you want to go get married. And next thing you know, get what happened? Divorce. All behind Valentine's Day and the whoredom that is within us. Go to Sirach 6 and 7. That's why this scripture is so important. Leadership been bringing out proving, going through the proper proving processes for years. And a lot of us, I ain't talking about folks celebrating Valentine's Day. I'm talking about folks that celebrated Purim last night, have this issue. That's going to be in the building today, turned up. Because Purim 2 days. Yeah, it's live. You understand what I'm saying? But guess what? We all have those issues driven by lust. We've seen people, backdoor marriage, driven by lust. This is what the Bible says, Sirach 6 and 7.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
It said, if thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. You got to prove, brothers. Sisters, you got to prove. You got to know who you dealing with before you rush into a marriage. People do that because wine Well, whoredom, wine, and new wine have taken away their heart. They drunk in love. Somebody had a song called that. Drunk in love. I think it was Beyonce or somebody. I don't know. Sister, you be singing all the time, just loud and obnoxious. Talking about drunk in love. You drunk off of idolatry. That's what's going on. Go to that in Tobit real quick. I ain't had this, but it just kind of crossed my mind. Go to Tobit for me real quick. We say you take not this sister for lust. But they might become aged together. Tobit 8 and 7?
Yes, sir. The book of Tobit, chapter 8, verse 7.
Come on.
And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly.
This is the right way to do it. He said, I take not this my sister for lust. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. That woman that you lay down with, brothers, that you seek to marry, that is your sister. You understand that? And likewise, that's the level of connection that we have to have, that we have one with another, that's coming from the same forefathers. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You understand that? So it's not our job to rush into these things knowing that we can damage our people, we can damage our sisters. You understand that? Read it again.
And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly. Therefore, mercifully ordain that we may become aged together.
Mercifully ordained that we may become or aged together. That's what it's about, growing old together in righteousness, keeping the commandments of God. You understand that? Not no doggone Valentine's Day. Will you be my Valentine? You look crazy, 30, 40, 50 years old, talking about some doggone Valentine's Day. You are out of your mind. You got folks they've been together so long, old people together so long, they ain't married for real. They what you call common law married. They just might as well be married. They live together. They do everything else. That's black. That's black people stuff. We got to come out of that, brothers and sisters. You understand? Play that YouTube video. The next should be the next one. Did I send it? Part of me feel like I did not send it. Let me see. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot one. Go to the, it's an article before the YouTube video. And I just want, that one right there. Because you rush into a marriage or you rush into the bed with somebody on Valentine's Day. You wake up the next morning, that person going to be gone, and you're going to be left with some of these. Pull that up. Pull it. Read the title.
Yikes. These are the common STIs spread during Valentine's Day.
The common what?
The common STIs spread during Valentine's Day.
In case you ain't know, an STI is a sexually transmitted infection. Scroll down. What are some of the common STIs spread during Valentine's Day? Come on.
Look out for these STIs this Valentine's Day.
Let's go down. We just going to get what they are, the most common ones. And these ain't the only ones, but these are just the most common. Read that. What's that first one?
HPV.
HPV. Read the first sentence.
HPV is the most common STD in the U.S. human papillomavirus and generally harmless and goes away by itself. But in some cases, it can lead to cancer or genital warts.
We just read it. But whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. You ain't going to die. But you are going to catch cancer and you're going to have genital warts. Read chlamydia.
Chlamydia is the most commonly reported STI in the nation. Also known nicknamed the clap.
Nicknamed the clap. You seen her, she was making it clap. Now get what you got. The doggone clap. What is it? Read on.
The bacterial infection can be contracted very easily.
It can be contracted very easily. How many people get that each year? The next sentence?
Almost 3 million Americans are diagnosed with chlamydia every year.
Ooh, jump down. The clap is, let's see, symptoms in women.
Yes, sir. The clap is spread through oral.
The next sentence. Symptoms.
Okay.
Help him out. BNT, hover over with him. Y'all, you know what we're trying to say? See what symptoms for BNT don't even know what's going on. Symptoms for chlamydia, and there we go.
Yes, sir.
Praise God.
Symptoms for chlamydia in women include yellowish or strong-smelling vagina discharge.
Ooh. Ooh, that's that whoremonger and adultery. God will judge. Yellowish or strong smelling discharge. What else?
Swelling inside of your vagina.
What else?
And pain or burning when you urinate.
Uh-huh.
If left untreated, chlamydia can truly do damage to your body.
You run around worried about Valentine's Day. You need to be trying to make sure your insurance is active because you might need it. After this, what gonorrhea say? What? Read the next one.
Gonorrhea.
Okay.
Gonorrhea is the second most common reported STI that infects both men and women.
Read that one. Read the symptoms on that one. They highlighted it.
Symptoms in both men and women can go unnoticed, and many times in women, it can be mistaken as a bladder infection.
So it's saying many times in women, it can be mistaken as a bladder infection. So a sister might think she got what's called a UTI, and really, it's an STI. It's crazy. But that's why we got to really stop and think before we go into these things. We got to stop getting drunk off the lies and falsehood of these nations because we're going to end up with this and nothing else to show for it. Now, be in the next video, the YouTube. Lupercalia. It's right up under the what we just read. It should be the very next thing. Read Hebrews 13:4 again. This is how you know the Bible true. This is how you know the Bible is a true book. Millions of our people walking around with this stuff right now. And we got the nerve to not want to prove, and not want to do right, and not want to, hold on, hold fast to that which we have. You want to give it up, want to give up the goods. You give up the goods and you get something else in return. Play that video.
The Lupercalia was an ancient Roman festival which took place on the 15th of February around the Palatine Hill in Rome. Its main ingredients included blood, milk, flour, salt, and wool, and some curious whips made out of goat skin. The proceedings began at the cave called the Lupercal. This was the spot where the she-wolf was said to have nourished Romulus and Remus. On the day of the Lupercalia, a group of chosen men and boys assembled at the cave. These were the Luperci, an ancient priestly brotherhood. Things got going with an animal sacrifice. A goat, maybe more than one, and sometimes a dog too. The animals were sprinkled with mola salsa, a mixture of flour and salt that was made by the Vestal virgins for use in Roman rituals. Then they were killed, and a knife was dipped in their blood before being passed over the foreheads of two of the young men. The blood was wiped off with wool soaked in milk. The goat's hides were then taken off and cut into strips. Some of these were used as loincloths for the Luperci, but others were made into whips. Then there was a big feast. After the feast, the Luperci left the cave, ran around the Palatine wearing their goatskin loincloths and waving their goatskin whips. As they ran, they lashed out at people who had gathered for the occasion. The goatskin whips were thought to bring fertility, so the crowd included women who wanted to become pregnant. But the festival had other aims too. February was the month of purification, and the goatskin whips were sometimes called februa, or purifying tools. So the Lupercalia was about cleansing the city and community, and also about providing reminders of its legendary origins. Who knows what happened to the goatskins after the festival was over? Were they burnt, or maybe saved as a kind of relic or souvenir? Next February, the festival would happen all over again, right, and it would be the turn of another goat.
Stop. Go back. Why do you think they show a baby right there? Just want you to think. They were just talking about Valentine's Day and Lupercalia, and they whipping women and goat skin and fertility. And then next thing you get is a baby. Okay, just keep that in mind. Finish the video out.
Next February, the festival would happen all over again, and it would be the turn of another goat to help bring fertility and purity to the Roman people.
The goat said, "Why you gotta do me like this, bro?" Go to the article now. The next article. Remember, aftermath. Idolatry is a deep ditch. We're gonna go down into the rabbit hole just a second, just to show our people what you really involved in. You think it's just about love and candy and cards? No, this started with sacrificing goats. and whipping women to increase their chances of fertility. The white men believe all kind of crazy stuff. And all these other nations, right? Because you'll notice that a common similarity between a lot of these other gods and this different worship is the thought of that particular god or celebration is supposed to somehow create or increase fertility. What you think that means that these holidays are associated with? Sexual deviancy, all type of manner of evil going on, strange sexual lust, evil concupiscence, like the scriptures say. Watch this. Pull it up. Dark origins of Valentine's Day.
The dark origins of Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a time to celebrate romance and love and kissy face fealty. But the origins of the festival of candy and cupids are actually dark, bloody, and a bit muddled. Though no one has pinpointed the exact origin of the holiday, one place to start is ancient Rome.
Go down. Scroll down. All right, let's start right there.
The Roman celebrations were violent. From February 13th to 15th, the Romans celebrated the Feast of Lupercalia. The men sacrificed a goat and a dog, then whipped women with the hides of the animals they had just slain. The Roman romantics were drunk.
What were they?
The Roman romantics were drunk.
Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. The romantics were drunk. They really were drunk. Read.
They were naked.
Oh, God. Look at this. Sexual deviancy. That's all this is about. That's all people do on these holy days. These not holy days. Oh, God, no. Unholy days. Hella days. Read on.
Noah Linsky, now a religious study professor at Yale University, told NPR in 2011, young women would line up for the men to hit them, Linsky said. They believed this would make them fertile.
So you got naked, drunk men running around, hitting women with whips. What else you think they doing? Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Let's see. Please get that off the screen. Let's see. Just to read this one right here, the brutal feat.
The brutal feat included a matchmaking lottery.
A what?
A matchmaking lottery.
A matchmaking. So not only were they running around whipping these women, there was a next step. Next thing that happened was this. What did it say?
The brutal feat included a matchmaking lottery in which young men drew the names of women from a jar. The couple would then be coupled up for the duration of the festival or longer if the match was right.
What do you think that means, coupled up? That mean they was having sex. Fornication, adultery was going on during these times. And guess what? We doing it right now in 2026. Go to Hosea 4:12. You can pull that down now. This is what happened. This is your Valentine's Day. Couple, you get hit by a whip, increasing fertility, whatever the hell going on. And then you pull a name out of, you don't even know who you dealing with. You pull a name out of a hat, out of a jar. That's the same thing black folk doing today. Just pick somebody. Just pick a Negro and go lay with them. Wake up with an STD. You don't know what a Negro at, but you pregnant. Come on, I'm telling you, we gotta really understand what we dealing with. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 12.
Excuse me.
Come on.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 12. My people ask counsel at their stocks. And their staff declared unto them.
And their staff declared, don't go into the idols they worship. Read.
For the spirit of whoredom have caused them to err.
The what?
The spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err.
The spirit of whoredom. We dealing with these other guys. Guess what happened? We get a spirit of whoredom on us when we got outside of the God of the Bible, and we dealing with Valentine's Day. We dealing with Christmas. We just dealing with whatever it is out here that don't align with the laws of God. You get what? Read it again. The what?
My people have asked counsel at their stocks, and their staff declared unto them, for the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to err.
The spirit of whoredoms, that wine, that falsehood, those lies, the spirit of whoredoms have caused us to err. Read.
And they have gone a-whoring from under their God.
They have gone a-whoring from under their God. Read on.
They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good.
Idol worship, right? So we talk about idol worship. You may say, well, I ain't doing all of that. But guess what? You still got the spirit of whoredoms on you. How we know? Read the next part.
Therefore, your daughter shall commit whoredom and your spouses shall commit adultery.
It's because your daughters commit whoredom and your spouses commit adultery. That's what God's saying. When you walking in the way of physical idolatry, guess what happens next? Or spiritual fornication, guess what happened next? Physical fornication. Spiritual whoredom leads to physical whoredom. Go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse 12 now. So yes, the spirit of whoredom is on our people. That's why you think that Cardi B walking around with her behind out. Nicki Minaj, Glorilla, and Brorilla, all of them, they tripping. Our people have lost their minds. Why? Because of idolatry. You know I love to blame the Christian church because they ain't teaching none of God's laws in there. Read that. Wisdom of Solomon 14:12.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Come on.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
It say the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. The spirit of whoredoms. Read.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
And the invention of them, the corruption of life. So from these idols that we worship, these idol gods, these idol celebrations, guess what? Our lives have now become corrupted. Remember we were talking about fertility, right? Or the video. Oftentimes these different holidays and pagan celebrations and other gods are always associated with some type of fertility. Fertility. Why? Why is that? It's because of the mass amount of whoredom that goes on, the mass amount of adultery and fornication that goes on during those times. Fertility, what you need to be fertility for? Fertile for. Remember the baby at the end of the video? Where do you think he came from? All right, read that, Judges 2 and 13. Showing you now that these things are not different. This is, like I said, we said at the beginning, this extends far beyond just Valentine's Day. People commit adultery and whoredom all the time. It's because of the spiritual or the spirit of whoredom that is on our people from the other gods that we worship. I don't care if it's white Jesus or a fat Chinese Buddha. Guess what you got on you? The spirit of whoredoms. Read that, Judges 2 and 13.
The book of Judges, chapter 2, verse 13. And they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtoreth.
And what?
And Ashtoreth.
So we forsook the Lord and we served Ashtoreth. That's the end of that?
Yes, sir.
We served Ashtoreth. Go to 1 Kings 11 and 5. Go back to 1 Kings. Get another one for Ashtoreth. Go back to King Solomon.
Yes, sir. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 11 and verse 5. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the god of the Zidonians.
So Solomon went after Ashtoreth as well, the god of the Zidonians. Who else did he go after?
And after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites.
And after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. More on that?
That's it.
That's it. So he worshiped other gods, namely Ashtoreth. Let's look at Ashtoreth real quick. Pull that up. Showing you how these things are not different. Whether it's Lupercalia or Ashtoreth or whatever it is, it's always some type of sexual behavior involved in it. Whoredom, adultery, fornication, and drunkenness. Read that.
Ashtoreth is a major ancient Semitic goddess of love, fertility, and war, worshipped by the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, and the Philistines. Often considered the consort of Baal. She is identified with the Babylonian Ishtar and Greek Astarte. In the Bible, her worship is condemned as idolatry, linked to high places and ritual prostitution.
What is it linked to? Linked to high places and what?
Ritual prostitution.
Ritual prostitution. That's Valentine's Day. It's a ritual. It happens one day every year at a particular time, and you go and do the ritual either in a hotel room, on a air mattress, in the backseat of a car. It don't matter. That's the spirit of whoredom. It's a whole other guy, by the way. I told you these other guys, they have nothing for our people but to put us in a position of spiritual fornication. Go back, pull that up. I think it's something else on there I won't. I won't. It's something else I won't. Pull this down. It's another screenshot I sent. Should say symbols and worship. Still going to the same thing. Yeah.
Symbolism and worship. Symbols associated with the moon, the evening star, the dove, and the pomegranate. Worship practices. Her worship involved high places and sacred groves, often involving, at times, immoral rites, including ritual prostitution and, in some contexts, child sacrifice.
Uh-oh. So not only did it include ritual prostitution, in some contexts, child sacrifice. What's that today? That's abortion. For them babies that done had because you done laid down with some Negro you don't know, and now you want to abort the baby. That's child sacrifice. Guess what? You doing the same thing to this day. You know, I ain't worshiping no idol. Yes, the hell you are. Because you the same stuff they did then, right now, to this day. Somebody trying to find a plan B right now. Somebody finna go to the abortion clinic right now today because they celebrated this madness last night. And it ain't just Valentine's Day. It happens all the time. The idolatrous spirit, that spirit that's on us as a people, that's all day, every day, 365. And these are the things that we do. Remember the fertility? They had them babies. And what they had to do? Sacrifice them. Go to Wisdom of Solomon 14:23. So we're seeing now how spiritual fornication leads to physical fornication. Look at all these things that come from idolatry. And then we're going to play some videos. Wisdom of Solomon 14:23.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled.
You see that? It said, for while they slew their children, child sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. Keep on going, verse 24.
Verse 24. They kept their lives nor marriages any longer undefiled,
Mm-hmm.
but either one slew another traitorously,
Mm-hmm.
or grieved him by adultery.
But either one, because of idolatry, either one slew another traitorously or grieved him by adultery. Okay, so now we got murder and adultery in the building with child sacrifice. Come on, keep going. What else?
So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter.
So now manslaughter in the building now due to idolatry. What else?
Theft. And dissimulation.
Dissimulation. Fake love in the building now.
Corruption.
That Valentine's gift, that wasn't no love. What you mean? Dissimulation. What else? What it say?
Corruption. Unfaithfulness.
Come on.
Tumults. Perjury.
Read on.
Disquieting of good men. Forgetfulness of good terms. Defiling of souls. Changing of kind.
What come from idolatry?
Defiling of souls. Changing of kind.
Changing of kind. What is? Look, it should say something right there. Beside that word, that kind, it should have like a 9 right there. You got the Cambridge. Oh man, bro. We was on the road, bro. We was on the road, y'all. But if you got the Cambridge Bible, right, the 1611 Cambridge, there should be a 9 by the word kind. If you look into the middle, in the margin there, what does kind mean? It should say or sex. So you mean to tell me they were talking about sex change during the time of King Solomon? Same thing it was then, same thing today. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Changing of kind, sex change, transformer. All behind idolatry. Finish that out.
Disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness.
Disorder in marriage. We finna watch a video. Matter of fact, we finna watch a couple videos about a lot of the things that we just read in here to show you that, yes, it's real. It extends far beyond Valentine's Day. It is what it is. You worship other gods, you got the spirit of whoredom on you. You ain't keeping God's laws, you got the spirit of whoredoms on you. Pull the next video up. Should be a YouTube video. Check this madness out.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Thank you for joining us for the second half of The Factor tonight. We're diving into the very fascinating world of polyamory, which we've done here before on The Factor. You may have seen a lot of relationships where men have had multiple women on their arms. My next guests are flipping the switch a bit. Now, Kenya K. Stevens is at the center of her relationship. You're looking at him there. Family portrait. Look at God. She's married to two men, Tiger and Carl, and they will be sharing part of their lives on TLC's new series, Seeking Brother Husband. They join me now in the studio.
And of course, do you see this madness? seeking brother husband. That ain't sister wives no more. It's brother husband. The hell is this? Look at these two. Look at these simps. Look at them. Tight pants. Look at this. This is what the black man has become. This is how far we have fallen. When we get the spirit of whoredoms on it, we don't give a damn no more. You know what? I know she married. I'll take her. Matter of fact, I'll be your brother husband. What's going on, bro? What the hell is this? Play on.
Premiere will be this Sunday. So explain to me what's going on here. Obviously, these two ain't getting together. It's just you and you, and that's it.
Yes, they call this a poly V. So I'm in the center, and I'm with my husband, Carl. We've been together almost 30 years. And my husband, Tiger, and I have been together almost 10 years.
Look at this. Look at this. Read verse 26 again.
Verse 26.
She been with one dude 30 years, and then 20 years later, they found this other dude. You know, both of them brothers look questionable. If I ain't finna lie to you. Both of them. She ain't the only one. It ain't no V. It's a whole other shape. It's a bunch of letters. A L, a G, a B, a T, and a Q. And probably something else going on. But read that.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 26. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages.
Disorder in marriages. That's disorder. God say one man. Read 1 Corinthians chapter 7 for me, please. Let's get the Bible, because this is crazy. This is insane. And we're going to come back to the video, because I just want y'all to hear how they attempt to justify this evil. Just the spirit of whoredom, I'm telling you, the spirit of falsehood and lies, the wine that our people drunk off. But watch, read 1 Corinthians 7 and 1.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1.
Let's show you what God say.
Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication.
To avoid fornication, to avoid being a brother husband or a sister wife. Read.
Let every man have his own wife.
Let every man have his own wife. 1, read.
And let every woman have her own husband.
And let every woman have her own husband. This mess right here, this shouldn't be. But because of idolatry, play the video.
Though, is that allowed? Is that allowed under the law, or are you talking about spiritual husband one, legal husband the other?
Yes.
How does that work?
This is my legal husband, and we added this husband by having a spiritual connection ceremony.
Okay. And so how did you guys
You hear the madness of the black woman?
This situation?
You hear what she said? She said the one husband, this is my legal husband, but then this one over here, we had a spiritual connection ceremony. What is that? And that's why we got to say it. Always. Shout out to Captain Get Alive. Don't listen to black women. Why? Because you might end up being a damn brother husband. Keep playing.
Well,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of complicated, but we had genuine feelings for other people, and Kenya and I talked about it, like, hey, I'm feeling some feelings of love for someone. She had the same thing. We talked about it. We said, well, why don't we actually explore this and see where it leads? And that's how we got into it.
Yeah.
And how did you open your mind, though, as a husband, as a man, to that?
Yeah, at first I was close to it. So when she brought to me that she wanted to date other men and that she should be able to do that.
But she didn't say, I want to leave you. She just said, I want to date other men.
Just wanted to date. And at first, I was close to that. Because I had never really heard, like, a married woman dating multiple men. Like, where does that come from? I've heard of polygyny, one man, many women.
Yeah, but he wanted to have other women. He had said that when we first got married. So I knew that that was one of his goals. And when it started to happen at year 12 of our marriage, I said, well, I would like to get in on that too, you know, because I think it's just fair is fair.
So year 12, what happened specifically? So
he came home. Yeah, he came home from work and just told me how he was having feelings for a woman at his job. And he was traveling a lot, and they were traveling together. And so he just was honest about his work wife.
And how do you bring that kind of honesty home?
We just talked about everything. I mean, when she had feelings for someone else, she brought it to me. We talked to our marriage counselors about it. Like, we were surprised in monogamy that you actually had feelings.
I don't even want to watch no more. You can watch this on your own. This madness, these folks is bugged the hell out. But if you go on in it, you find out, you probably already noticing it as they begin to speak. This ain't the first time they doing that. These two people that you see on the screen ain't the only people they doing that with. he got other women and other men, and he got the other one on the other side got other men, she got other men outside of them too. It's all confusion. Where you think them STDs come from? Just switching and swapping. Every night, somebody new. New rod, new disease. That's what happened. That's what's going on. And the black man to sit up there, the brother to interview him, he know his foolishness. That's why he asked him all them questions. He know, like, I know damn well. These folks ain't come up in here saying this. That's why he asked them all those questions so they can see how dumb they sound. Attempting to justify that whoredom. Attempting to justify that evil that they got going on. Play the next video, man. Sick of these folks. Our people, I tell you, this is crazy. Let's listen to this dude right here. Check this out. All behind idolatry. This is what we deal with. This is what it is.
Really, nah, I only had one real girlfriend. But I don't even count that relationship. So really, I never really had a girlfriend. You heard?
Why don't you count that?
I was young. And I was just young. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I was young. But I always been mature. You see what I'm saying? I feel like I was too mature for our relationship. You heard? So yeah, nah, I was young. I don't count that.
Even though you asked her out?
Nah, she asked me out.
Okay. That means you're boyfriend and girlfriend, right?
For sure. Well, yeah, all right, for sure. Yeah, I go with that.
How long did that relationship last for?
About 2 years, 2.5, maybe.
And why didn't it work out?
She cheated on me. She cheated on me like 13 times.
Oh, God.
Valentine's Day, caught her in the bed with a nigga.
Well, wait, what did he say? What did he say? Play it again. Go back just like 5 seconds.
With a nigga.
Go back some more. Maybe give him a few more seconds. I want you to hear what he said. She cheated on him. I want to hear how many times and when he caught her in the bed with somebody. Play it.
And why didn't it work out?
She cheated on me. She cheated on me like 13 times. Valentine's Day, caught her in the bed with a nigga.
Stop. Stop it. Say she cheated on him 13 times. And on Valentine's Day, caught her in the bed with another Negro. Ain't that some... This crap, I'm telling you. Read Wisdom of Solomon 14:26 again. This what's happening. This what's going on. Our people bugged out of their mind. First of all, I don't know how you let somebody cheat on you 13 times. What the hell wrong with you? You have to be riding the short bus or something. I'm for real. This is crazy. What's wrong with you? Read it again. Read that. I'm sorry.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 26. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls.
Defiling of souls 13 times? That the land is beyond defile. The earth is scorched. It's over for that thing. Look like a parachute 13 times. Good Lord. Keep going.
Changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness.
That's shameless uncleanness. And for this brother to be so simple, to go back to dealing with this sister, this is, boy, I tell you, our people bugged out of their mind. This is the aftermath now of the idolatry. These are the things that happen because of it. You in a poly V or whatever the hell they call that. You a brother husband now. Or you're getting cheated on 13 times. What else? Play the next video. What else comes from the adultery, the fornication that stems from idolatry? Just play it.
Of your breaking news now, a jury reached a guilty verdict in the murder trial for a man accused of killing his wife back in 2023.
Yeah, it was an emotional last day for a trial that lasted almost a week. Michael Owens was convicted of first-degree murder in the death of his wife, Ebony Owens. He dumped her body into the Big Black River. He will now spend the rest of his life behind bars Greener Side's Candace Bruce joins us now with reaction following the ruling. Candace?
Yeah, Howard, it was tense inside the courtroom as the guilty verdict was read, but the family of Ebony Owens says their prayers have been answered. It only took about just over an hour for the jury to reach a verdict. Owens confessed last week on the stand to shooting his wife after finding her in bed with another man.
Stop.
But during
Stop. When he shoot her after finding her in bed with another Negro. Idolatry. She got the spirit of whoredoms on her. And the brother put her to death behind it. You understand what I'm saying? You see, these are the things that happen. And this is but one case. Crimes of passion happen all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Whether in the heat of the moment or planned. Sometimes they set stuff up because they find out how their significant other, their spouse, has been dealing with them, cheating on them. Secretly behind closed doors. This person find out, don't address it. He found a way to get the sister put to death. And vice versa. The sister found a way to get the brother put to death. This is the aftermath of idolatry. These are the things that happen, y'all. STDs running rampant in the community. Murder rate going up because somebody committing adultery. So on and so forth. That's why we got to come back to keeping God's commandments. Brothers, you got to stop simping, and sisters, you got to stop whoring yourself out. Read this Proverbs 23:27. Proverbs 23:27.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 27.
Come on.
For a whore is a deep ditch.
What's a whore?
A whore is a deep ditch.
A whore is a deep ditch. 13 times cheated on you deep. Read on.
And a strange woman is a narrow pit.
Uh-huh.
She also lieth in wait as for prey, and increaseth the transgressors among men.
And she also increaseth the transgressors among men. You become a transgressor when you fall into the way of fornication and idolatry. You break God's commandments. That's what that means. Go to chapter 22, Proverbs, same book, verse 14.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
The mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein.
So then it say the mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit. He that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. Brothers, you got to be careful. Don't fall in the deep pit. Go to Proverbs 6:23. Proverbs 6:23.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 23. For the
fall into the deep pit all the time, and then you got to watch them get stood up and put out. Ask the brother, you love her? I love her, man. Really? I seen this with my own eyes. That's why I'm saying this. But anyway, I digress. Keep going. Brother fell into the deep pit, and we pray he recover himself, but these things happen. Read on.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23.
Uh-huh.
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. God's laws, correction, that's the way of life for us. We have to understand that when we come into this truth, we have to correct ourselves day in and day out. You understand that? Whether you brand new in the truth or you been 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 20, however many years in the truth. It's a constant battle. It's a constant fight. Like Deacon Malachi was bringing out in class yesterday. I'll praise the Most High, that war that we fight in our minds. The battle against the flesh versus spirit. We always got to fight. We can't get down to the point where we falling head over heels for whores, brothers. That means Satan beating your head in. You done fell in. Satan done pushed you in the deep ditch. You done for. Keep on reading. Because what is this correction meant to do? What are the scriptures meant to do? Read verse 24.
Verse 24. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
So the laws of God are meant to keep us, keep us, because we all can fall victim to it. Keep us from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Imagine you ain't got none in a minute. Or you are married, and you and your wife may be having some issues. Satan pop up, you got a woman flattering you. Next thing you know, in the ditch. Did you fall in the ditch and you see Tyrone and Jaquan in the ditch with you? The hell? Read on.
Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, Neither let her take thee with her eyelids.
Don't let her take you with her eyelids, the way she look. Read.
For by means of a whorish woman is a man brought to a piece of bread.
For by means of a whorish woman is a man brought to a piece of bread. Brother finna be in jail for his whole life behind a whorish woman. It's insane. Read on.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
Proverbs 30 and 20. The adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Hunt her. Get her. That's her. She play that important part of the song and cut it off. And she go get you. You got to be careful. Read that, Proverbs 30 and 20.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman. This is what adulterous women do. Right? Read on.
She eateth and wipeth her mouth.
She eateth. She a eater. Read it again. What she do?
She eateth and wipeth her mouth.
She eat and wipe her mouth. How many times? 13 times. Oh, God. Read on.
And saith, I have done no wickedness.
I ain't do nothing wrong. Imagine that. I see the on your face. And she. No, you don't. I ain't do nothing. What you talking about? And then you come back 13 times. It's crazy. Go to Sirach 26 and 9.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 9.
Come on.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. Should be taken by those things. Read.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly. So this is a message to you parents, especially you fathers with daughters. Read it again.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly. Watch her. Check her. Correct her. Make sure she following the path of the foremothers, keeping God's commandments. Because if you don't, she'll abuse herself through overmuch liberty. You let her do whatever the hell she want to do. 1 minute, it's gonna be she watching twerk videos. You think young boys are the only ones that fall victim to stuff like that? Nah. Our young daughters do that too. Our young girls do that too. Fall victim to the whoredom of these women that they see, shaking their behind on the internet. And the next thing you know, they exposed to porn too. Now the little girl don't know how to think. Damaged in the mind. Because you let her do whatever she want to do. You don't check what she doing, what she watching, who she talking to. And then from that, she begins to go out and proceed to make those things that she watched on them videos a reality. She abused herself too much liberty. We got to be careful with our daughters. Keep on reading.
Verse 11. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he had found a fountain.
She gonna open her mouth. She gonna eat.
And drink of every water near her.
And drink of all 13 of them. She gonna drink all the water. Ain't gonna be no more water left because she done drunk it up. And then gonna wipe her mouth and say she ain't did nothing. Read on.
By every hedge will she sit down, and open her quiver against every arrow.
All that translates into she will become a whore. She will have the spirit of whoredom on her, and that spirit, that mind frame, those thoughts will then begin to become actions. That's why we got to watch our daughters. That's why we got to be careful. Be careful, brothers. Be careful, sisters. Be careful what you're dealing with. Understand what you're dealing with when you're dealing with all these idolatrous practices. And even if you don't do those things no more, you in this truth, that don't mean this spirit cannot come upon you. Read Proverbs 6 and 32.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 32.
Because your idol may not be a particular other God itself. Idols come in various other forms. We're going to read the scripture about that in just a few seconds, but read this. Proverbs 6 and 32.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 32.
But
whoso committeth adultery with the woman lacketh understanding.
The reason why you commit adultery, the reason why we commit adultery is because we lack understanding. We've become impudent. You understand? If we had understanding, we lost it. For that moment, everything went out the window just so we could fulfill our flesh and fulfill our lust for a couple seconds. And then next thing you know is judgment, whether that be put out the body or some type of infection, so on and so forth. These are the things that happen. You understand that? We have to be mindful of that. Is there any more on that?
Yes, sir.
Read it.
He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
He that does it destroys his own soul. She that does it destroys her own soul. So go to Ephesians 5:1 now. We almost done. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 1.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children.
So solution is we have to be followers of God. We can no longer follow the ways of the world. We cannot follow the idolatrous customs that's out here for us. We got to leave that alone. And we got to do what? Read it again.
Be ye therefore followers of God as dear children.
We got to be followers of God. Come on.
And walk in love, as Christ also hath loved us.
And walk in love as Christ have loved us. Read on.
And hath given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to God for his sweet-smelling savor.
Christ gave himself for us, the Israelites. His sacrifice is what now justifies us from the things that we could not be justified for under the laws of Moses. You know, those things that we had to die for when it was found out under 2 or 3 witnesses. Christ took that away. Now what he has done is given us the opportunity, or what we know today as grace, to get our lives together. Stop doing it. Come out to idolatry. Come out to adultery. Come out to fornication. Come out to lying. Come out to drunkenness. Stop those things and be followers of God. Read on.
But fornication and all uncleanness.
But fornication and all uncleanness, what it say?
Or covetousness.
Or covetousness, read.
Let it not be once named among you as becoming saints.
Don't let it be named among you. Don't let those things be associated with your name. You want to have a good name in this life. You want to be that one that gets to Christ, the judgment seat of Christ. You say, well done, my good and faithful servant. Because you fought. We ain't saying it like it's going to be a thing of it's just easy to, it's just, you know what I'm saying? You read the scriptures and you automatically righteous. We're not saying that. But the point is we have to read these things and apply. Like Bishop say, study, pray, apply. Study, pray, apply. Over and over and over again. 4 chapters. Watching class, 15 minutes with the captain, so on and so forth. Being around leadership and applying the things that you learn. That's how we can remove fornication, uncleanness, and covetousness away from us. Go to Colossians 3 and 5. Because remember, it ain't just subject. This extends, the idolatry extends far beyond Valentine's Day. It extends far beyond some idol god that you can worship, some tangible cross or a little Buddha statue or something that you can pray in front of. It's more than that. Because the whole time you was watching, you think, well, I ain't doing none of that. I ain't celebrating that. What if this is your idol? Colossians 3 and 5.
Colossians chapter 3 and verse 5.
Come on.
Mortify therefore your members.
You say mortify our members. Read.
Which are upon the earth.
What are those members?
Fornication.
Fornication.
Uncleanness.
Unclean. We got to kill that. We got to kill fornication. We got to kill uncleanness. Come on.
Inordinate affection.
Inordinate affection. We got to kill that.
Evil concupiscence.
This is right. You got to understand. This is written here because we got that in us. If it were not so, it would not be written. Evil concupiscence, strange sexual desires that we have, that we seek to go out and fulfill. We can't do that as followers of God. Read on.
And covetousness, which is idolatry.
All those things are idolatry. So no, you don't have to worship a Buddha statue. If you're dealing with this, that's your God. How you know? Because you let it control you. Obey it. Romans 6 and 12, real quick. We almost done. Romans chapter 6, verse 12.
Romans chapter 6 and verse 12. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof.
That's how you know it's your idol, because you obey it. So Paul turned around and say, let not sin therefore reign or rule in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lust thereof. Do not let that become your idol. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 6.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 6. Now these things were our examples, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted.
These things are our examples. The things written aforetime are examples. There's a couple of examples we're about to read. Read on.
Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, The people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play.
Our people worshiped another god in the wilderness. And what they do, they sat down to eat and drink, and they rose up to play. Once they ate and they drank, they got their drink in them, they rose up to play. And no, they were not playing hopscotch. That means they were committing adultery. They was committing fornication in the name of another god. Idolatry. Worshiping or serving the lust that is within them. Read on.
Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000.
Jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
So this is the culmination of that. The reason why he's saying there is no temptation taking you but as such as is common to man, is because of the list of examples that you read above. What we see in those examples is, yes, temptation to fornicate comes. Temptation to be an idolater comes, right? These things happen. But what Paul said, read verse 13 again.
Verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
So understand that when you go through these same temptations, do understand it's not new. You ain't the first person this happened to. You ain't the first person that this went through have to deal with this temptation, the struggle against flesh and spirit, whether to act on it, whether to think on these things, deaden these things, or act on these things that come in your mind as it pertains to your lust. Read on.
But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able.
You got to know that you're able to deal with it. You built for it. We see in the examples that we ain't the only people that dealt with this. What happened to them? Oh, they died? Okay. Let me get myself together. Let me fix it. I can battle this. I can handle this. Let me get somebody in my corner. Let me call my brother. Let me call my sister. Let's go somewhere. Let's hang out. Let's go get something to eat. Go over the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that we have to put in place now so that we are not tempted. Because God knows he's not going to tempt you above what you're able to handle. Brothers and sisters, keep reading.
But will with the temptation also make a way to escape. That you may be able to bear it.
What's the way to escape? It's the word of God. Read the last scripture.
Wherefore, my dearly beloved.
So for that reason, read on.
Flee from idolatry.
Flee from idolatry. And that's what we're going to shut it down right there. All praise to the Most High God. I pray everybody got something out of the class. Daily bread. All praise to the Most High God. We're about to get up out of here and make way for PSR, Patient Saints, radio. Shout out to leadership. Shout out to the bishops, deacons, and captains once again, officers, soldiers, MOV, men, women, and children. Happy Feast of Purim. Shalom, family. Most High in Christ bless.